Today we're diving into something that I've never talked about on this channel, and honestly something that a lot of women are even scared to bring up: libido. So many women's libidos are in the trash can, and it's so common, but yet no one really talks about it. If your libido has disappeared, I need you to understand something. It's not gone, it's just dormant. And what most women don't understand is that your libido is not entirely about intimacy. It's about your life force. When your feminine life force is suppressed, your desire goes with it. So today, I'm gonna tell you how to unlock it again. And I'm not talking about the little cheesy things like lingerie or date nights. I'm talking about the energetic, physical, and emotional shifts that actually bring you back to life. Hey friend, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Jillz, and I help women step into their power, tap into their divine feminine, and become their best self, live their best life. So if that's something you want to do, you should subscribe and stick around. And just in case you want more from me, I also have my free weekly newsletter. It's called the Dream Life Digest, and it lands in your inbox every Tuesday. It's where I go a little bit deeper on all things manifestation, money, feminine energy, relationships, all of it. And it goes a little bit more, deeper and personal too. So if you want to get in on that inner circle, the link for that is down below. Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about how to unlock your feminine life force and boost your libido. And honestly, this is something that I really struggled with in the past. And I know it's secretly a much more common experience than most women admit. At the end of the day, our body is always communicating with us. So if something is off, for example, if our libido is zapped, if there's just not much there anymore, it's just a sign that we need a little recalibration. And the truth is that there are a lot of different reasons why this can happen. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's energetic. And so in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the different things that might be blocking your libido and your life force, and how to bring back that energy, that spark, that desire. So first, let's start with the physical side of things. Sometimes there is a very real physical reason behind low libido, and it's not something that you can just journal your way out of, right? If your hormones are really imbalanced, or you're having thyroid issues, or you're going through postpartum or perimenopause, that can affect things. Nutrient deficiencies, chronic blood sugar problems, chronic sleep deprivation, that can affect things. And also certain medications. For me, birth control pills completely and utterly tanked my libido. I'm not exaggerating when I say that it completely changed who I was and how I felt, and totally zapped my feminine life force. And getting off of them was a fabulous decision for me personally, and I wish I did it sooner. Of course, everyone's different though, so that might not be the case for you. But before we get into the energetic or emotional reasons, when we go a little bit deeper, I want to first make sure that we cover this and acknowledge this reality that there may be a physical component to what you're experiencing. And that's probably not something I can help you with that much, but that does bring me to today's sponsor, MIDI Health. When we talk about unlocking feminine life force and boosting libido, it's important to know that this is deeply connected to what's happening internally. And for many women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, things can shift in a way that feels confusing or discouraging or hard to navigate alone, and this is where the right care truly matters. Whether you're experiencing changes in desire, mood, energy, sleep, weight, skin, or hair, or you simply don't feel like yourself lately, getting support from a clinician who understands women's health can make a meaningful difference. Having a safe space to understand what's going on and create a personalized plan can really help, and that's where MIDI Health comes in. MIDI is a virtual care clinic built to truly see, hear, and understand women. Their clinicians take the time to listen and build a personalized care plan around you, because women's health isn't a one-size-fits-all. They offer visits for perimenopause and menopause, mood and memory, weight, skin and hair, and more. MIDI's clinicians can order lab tests, review your results, and when appropriate, provide hormonal or non-hormonal treatment options, support for libido changes, prescription skin or hair solutions, nutrition guidance, and lifestyle coaching. They also have visits that go way beyond the basics, including longevity screenings for proactive care. There are no memberships or hidden fees, and MIDI bills insurance just like any other provider. If support feels like the right next step for you, just click the link in the description or go to trymidi.com/Jillz to schedule a virtual visit and join the more than 200,000 women who love and trust MIDI for their midlife care. And remember, MIDI does accept insurance. So thank you, MIDI, and let's get back into the video. So now that we've covered that and the physical side of things, let's take things a bit deeper, shall we? Why am I talking about your feminine life force? Most women think their low libido is just an intimacy problem. It's not. It's a life force problem. Here's what I want you to understand. Your libido and your life force are the same thing. Your life force is your aliveness. It's the energy that makes you feel vibrant, magnetic, creative, sensual. It's your vitality, your spark. When your life force is strong, you wake up feeling inspired and you have energy and zest for life. You're playful, you're expressive, you're open, you're excited by life, you're turned on by life. And when that energy is flowing, your libido naturally flows with it. Desire isn't something you have to chase. It becomes a byproduct of feeling alive. But when your life force is weak and suppressed, everything dulls. You start living life on autopilot. You feel numb, disconnected, or uninspired, like the color's been drained from your life. And of course, your libido dims too, because it's fueled by the same energy. It's coming from the same source. You can't feel turned on by your partner or by life when that inner fire, that life force, has gone out. So the goal isn't to force desire. Because let's be real, does that ever really work? No, it's to reignite your life force energy, because when you do that, desire naturally follows. So let's talk about what's actually blocking your feminine life force and how to bring it back. The first thing you need to understand is this: you cannot feel desire in a body that doesn't feel safe. You can't feel turned on or connected or even creative and full of life when your nervous system is in survival mode. Many women today are constantly stuck in fight or flight. And they're running on stress hormones and overworking themselves and overthinking every little thing. And when you live in that stress state for an extended period of time, your body doesn't prioritize pleasure, it prioritizes protection. So your libido drops, not because you're broken, but because your body is working perfectly. It's reprioritizing for safety and survival. Imagine if you were in a very, very dangerous situation and all you could think about was, oh my gosh, look at the arm muscles on that guy. Do you think he's single? Let me put on some lip gloss. And you're already dead. Your body knows that in a stress state, desire and a romance and attraction and all that fun stuff is just not the priority. Desire exists in the parasympathetic state only. That's your rest and digest mode. That's when your body feels safe enough to relax and to open and to actually feel. My point is that nervous system regulation is directly tied to your life force energy and your libido. And so you might be thinking, okay, well, how do I fix it? That is a whole other big conversation on nervous system regulation, and we can't get into the intricacies of that in this video, but I do have a whole other video breaking down nervous system regulation. So if you want more on that, you can go check that out. I'll link it below. But here's the short version. Your body needs safety before it can open to pleasure. Slower mornings where you're not immediately in go mode, not overworking yourself to burnout every single day. Being able to rest and not feel crazy anxious about it. Being at peace with it. Checking in with your body instead of ignoring its signals. Creating space in the day purely just for feeling good, not for productivity. Feeling okay in the uncertainty of life, even when things are outside of your control. When you can learn to feel safe again and access rest and digest mode, that's when all of that energy can turn back on. But physiologically speaking, it's not possible to force desire when you're in a constant state of survival. That's just how the body works, especially women's bodies. So if you don't have this piece, it's gonna make it a lot harder. Now, the next piece to turning on your life force is reconnecting to pleasure. But in this context, I mean in everyday life. Tapping into the feeling of pleasure is something we sometimes have to relearn and reteach ourselves. Intentional pleasure in your everyday life is one of the most powerful ways to teach your body safety and relaxation again. When we intentionally choose to focus on pleasure and bring more of it to our life, our brain goes, if we have a space for pleasure, then I guess we're all good here. Then we must not be in danger. And then it wakes up your senses. You're letting your body remember what pleasure feels like. So what does this look like in normal life? Blocking off a night on your calendar, creating a cozy night in for yourself, baking yourself some cookies and watching your ultimate favorite movie. Taking time with your skincare routine instead of just rushing through it. Actually slowing down and tasting your food instead of just eating it while scrolling. Dancing in your kitchen while you cook because it's fun. Wearing fabrics that just feel really good on your skin. Lighting a candle and actually noticing the scent. Driving to work with your favorite hot girl playlist blasting, not an educational podcast. Taking a long, hot shower and actually feeling the water on your skin. Having a little square of dark chocolate at the end of the night and truly savoring it. Adding flowers to your home just because it's pretty. These seem small, and they are, but they are slowly reprogramming your system. You're teaching your body that pleasure is safe, that this is something my body can access. I'm allowed to feel good. This can be normal for me. This gets to be a part of my life. Relaxing into pleasure feels good. Again, pleasure in your normal everyday life, it just wakes up your senses and turns on that energy, turns on that life force, and it gets you out of your head and into your body. And what do you need for libido and desire? Out of your head and into your body. And the more easily you can embrace pleasure in your everyday life, the more natural it becomes in other areas of your life. And it allows that desire to come back. Another thing that absolutely turns your life force energy back on and affects your libido, and it sounds like these things shouldn't be related, but they are, is your creativity, your creative life. According to ancient Eastern philosophy, your creative energy and your sexual energy actually come from the same place. They're both rooted in your sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is responsible for fun, pleasure, play, romance, creativity, expression, sensuality, joy, passion. It all comes from this same power source. So the point is that your creative expression is linked with your energy of passion and pleasure and sensuality and desire. So when you suppress your creativity, you also end up naturally suppressing your life force and your libido. When you're not expressing yourself, not creating, letting your ideas and your desires move through you, that energy source gets weak. The act of creation turns on our life force energy as women. It's what we're designed for. We are creators by nature. When you're creating something, you're channeling life force. You're bringing something into existence that didn't exist before. Think about it. When have you felt most alive? Some of that is probably when you were deep in flow, or creating something, or bringing something to life, or expressing something. That's not a coincidence. That's your life force moving through you. One little thing that makes me feel most alive is dancing. And what is dancing? Creative expression. And where does that come from? The sacral chakra. And when I tap into that energy, then I feel more of those other sacral chakra things. I feel more energy and vibrance and sensuality in my everyday life and pleasure in my everyday life. So creativity turns this energy on. If you have no creative outlet or expression in your life, then your life force and your libido might start to feel a little blah. But here's the important nuance though that I want to bring up. There is a difference between inspired creativity and just drained creativity. When you're creatively inspired and flowing, and when you are listening to your urges and bringing those creative urges to life, that energy fuels your life force. It charges you. You feel alive, expressive, sexy. But when you are creatively overworked, when you are just forcing it, when you are constantly outputting without any rest, it drains that same well, and there's nothing left for desire. Think of it like this. Creativity and libido both come from the same reservoir. When you're inspired, you're filling the reservoir. When you're overworking and forcing constant creative output, which is unnatural, anyone who's a creative knows that's not how it works, then you are emptying it. So the key is to stay inspired instead of drained, to create from desire and flow, not obligation. Are you creating something that truly needs to be expressed from your soul, or are you creating something just to do it and check it off the list? So ask yourself, where in my life am I suppressing my creativity and my expression? Where am I holding back? Where am I playing small and not letting myself create what I actually want to create? Because that suppression, it's directly affecting your life force and therefore your libido. Now, if you're in a relationship, we all know that our desire for intimacy is also very highly correlated with the dynamic going on between you and your partner. In long-term relationships, sometimes that desire fades, not because you don't love them anymore, because you don't care about them anymore, but because that electrical charge has dulled between you two. And that masculine-feminine polarity is gone. Let me explain, okay? Your partner's masculine energy and your feminine energy, that dance between you two, that's what creates that attraction and that spark and that desire and that romance. It's what creates those moments of tension. But when your polarity starts to fade, that desire can start to fade sometimes with it too. And here's what happens for a lot of women in long-term relationships. We end up operating in our masculine energy. We start managing everything, overfunctioning, making all the decisions, being the responsible one every single time. But when you're constantly operating from that place, you lose that sexual chemistry. Think about it, you're not gonna be attracted to your partner when you're mothering him. You can't feel turned on when you've been carrying the mental load all day and you resent him for it. You can't drop into your feminine energy when you're micromanaging everything. But the good news is though, is that this can shift. This polarity and that spark in your relationship can be rebuilt because energy is always in motion. So how do we do that? As women, the way we bring that polarity back to the relationship is by being in our feminine energy, by softening, by opening, by receiving, letting ourselves be supported instead of controlling every detail. And this naturally gives him the space to step up and step into his masculine energy. He can't do that if you're always taking that spot. And of course, yes, he needs to do his part too. This isn't all on you. But the reality is that when you shift your energy, it often invites and creates a shift in him. Energy is contagious, and he is so heavily influenced by you. And when you're softer, more open, more trusting, more receptive, it calls forth his masculine energy. You stop chasing, managing, nagging, overfunctioning, and he starts stepping up and leading and providing and pursuing again. And many men will step up and rise to the occasion. Not all, but many will. Stepping into your feminine energy again in your relationship is how you keep not only that attraction and that desire alive, but also he keeps chasing you, pursuing you, adoring you, cherishing you, and getting that queen treatment like we all want. I've been with my husband for 16 years now, okay? And I've learned a lot. And I can tell you this, your feminine energy and the polarity between you two is the secret to bringing back that spark and keeping your relationship not only strong and passionate, but also fulfilling. And that's exactly why I'm creating my next course, Love Alchemy. This is exactly what I'm going to be teaching about how to be in your feminine energy in a relationship, how to feel desired, cherished, how to get what you want without controlling or overgiving, and how to inspire his masculine energy. Like I said, I've learned a thing or two in our 16-year relationship, so I have a lot to share. It'll be coming out just before Valentine's Day, but if you want to get on the wait list, the link for that is down below. I highly recommend, if you are at least somewhat interested, to get on the wait list, because those on the wait list will receive a special discount once it launches. I am very, very excited for this one, if you can't tell. Anyway, my point here is that desire fades when polarity fades. So sometimes it's not actually a libido problem or a life force energy problem. It's a polarity problem. And once you fix that polarity, the libido comes back strong. Okay, before we wrap up though, I just want to call out a few sneaky things that might be quietly draining your life force. First, overstimulation. Okay, too much scrolling, too much nonsense content, too much noise. It starts to dull your senses and disconnect you from your body. And all that constant stimulation spikes your dopamine centers over and over again. And your brain gets so used to that high level of stimulation that it starts to desensitize you. And those normal subtle pleasures like intimacy, sensuality, connection, they just don't hit the same anymore. And your pleasure centers get all messed up. Next is perfectionism, when you need everything to be perfect and you're not able to just be present and feel. When that happens, you're in your head analyzing and controlling instead of dropping into your body and how you feel. Right? And sexually, that's a killer. You can't let yourself feel good because you're too busy monitoring everything. And honestly, this one is probably obvious, but exhaustion. The biggest killer of desire is simply just being tired for whatever reason, whether you are just simply underslept, or you're overworking yourself, or you're putting everyone else's needs above yours and abandoning what you actually want and what you need. You cannot feel sexy, sensual, turned on, any of it when you're running on empty. Your body needs rest to access pleasure, period. So I hope this video maybe gave you a slightly different perspective on this taboo topic and provided some value. But here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Everything that we talked about today, regulating your nervous system, reconnecting with pleasure, expressing yourself creatively, restoring polarity in your relationship. It all comes back to the same thing. Feminine energy. Activating your feminine energy again will turn on your life force as a woman. It will help bring you back to life. It's what makes you feel alive, magnetic, sensual, spunky. And when you reconnect with that energy, your libido often naturally comes back with it. So because of that, I highly, highly recommend you go check out this video here, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Activating Feminine Energy, so you can learn how to tap into this energy and embody it in your everyday life. And I break it down in a way that is very easy to understand. So I hope you go check that out. So I'll see you over here, or maybe I'll just see you next time in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.